Hi everyone, viewer Emery here, and I would like to talk about what I consider to be the Isabel problem. So, I think that she adds little to nothing to the story of other people's character arcs or her own. Also, I would like to say that she adds no impactful meaningness to the gameplay, and this is a big problem because of how she is meant to be characterized. Before I start talking about some of the reasons why I think this, I would like to bring up what my idea of a move is, and that is making an impact on the elimination to benefit yourself or someone else. Now, here is why I think that she does none of that. I would also like to mention that Isabel is characterized as someone that is willing to do absolutely anything to win the game, and she does not have this characterization properly shown at all. So her character feels like she's trying to be something she's not, and I'm going to get into this with my first point. So my first point is that in the start of the game, both teams can send one player onto a mystery island to get some sort of advantage. It's not stated what, but the twist implies that something will be gained in the making of this. So, the problem with this is that she originally does not decide to make this decision to go. It's Natalia that wants to send her. And this wouldn't be a problem if the advantage she gets, she uses. She gets the immunity totem and seems to make sort of an alliance with Jade, which all seems nice if it was properly implemented into her actually using that to her advantage, which she never does. Now, my second point is that on the challenge where she is asked for a truth or dare, she decides to pick truth, and it was skipped over her portion, even though it could have been used as a way to add a little bit of story or build something for her to have a character centered around. But it was skipped over, and we still have yet to see any sort of arc or idea of what she's gonna do or be. My next point is that when she thinks that she's making the right decision by doing nothing in securing the girls' alliance, she assumes that everything's gonna be fine, even though there was already doubt by people like Natalia and Linda of backstabbing it, and she doesn't do anything to secure this alliance or make sure that it's actually going to work out, which proved to not help at all for her game or the alliance in general. Next point is when she decides to change her position in the game but not make a move. So she changes her alliance to the Richard, Natalia, and Logan one for the reason that she thinks it's more secure. But the problem with this is that it doesn't affect anyone other than her position, and she doesn't do anything in this time. She also mentions wanting to make a move against Linda, but that never happens. So, again, this is just another lackluster example of her being shown to want to do something, but not actually going through and doing it. So the next part of this segment is when the team swap happens. So this is where you would assume things would get interesting, especially now that she is more of the spotlight, being the new team member. But that isn't really the case. So when she gets over, she doesn't do much to make an alliance, even though she already had an alliance with Jade, but she never goes forward to make that stronger or even talk to her. It's Jade that has to tell her what's going on and what to do. So in this sense, yes, she has an alliance, but she's not controlling any part of it, and she's just listening to what Jade wants her to do, which is not a move at all on her part. So the next point is about her character development and her arc. So this is her first time ever really exploring that, and I would say it's probably one of the worst examples. So she says she wants to get to know Jade, and she does this by asking about her turtle. So that gets into the conversation of why they want to win the money, and she ends up saying that she doesn't know why she wants to win the money. I would say this really gives her a lack of purpose in the game, and I don't know if the writers know what they're doing with her. I don't think that giving her no personality beyond what her base personality is a good idea. And it feels like an excuse to just not do anything with her. And then when she starts to talk a little bit more about her actual feelings on things, it gets cut off, and it kind of feels like a lazy excuse to not go deeper into what makes her important. So after that, she decides to quote unquote make a move, even though she doesn't. So what she does is she talks to Ivy, and she brings up a past part of her life, except it's meant to signify something, but it's not explained what. It feels like she's making it up just to convince Ivy of doing something, but it's not explained if it was made up, even though it does feel like a lie. As I previously said, she talks to Ivy to convince her to keep flirting with Zayd, but she says that she had to use underhanded tactics, even though she didn't use underhanded tactics, and she doesn't say what those were. She just kind of is meant to believe that her convincing someone of something is underhanded, even though it's just a regular conversation she was having. So I'm not sure if this was meant for her to say that she doesn't have a boyfriend and she was lying about it to make her do what she wanted, but it wasn't stated, so I can't have that as a positive thing for Isabel, and it's not influential enough to be helpful. She also mentions wanting to change and do not bad things, but she never says what those bad things ever were, and it feels like they're trying to set up a character with a decent emotional plot, but I feel like there's nothing to support how she's feeling, and they're just telling us what she's feeling and not really explaining why she's feeling that. And it feels really not rewarding to listen to her character when she's not really getting a good one. So this is 12 episodes in, and she finally does get an actual heart-to-heart, but it does feel a little weird for a character to get absolutely nothing of importance for a character and not really a set arc, and then randomly just having an outburst of feelings. So I still don't know what they're going to do with her, and I don't think they know what they're going to do with her either. It didn't really tell us anything about what her future is. It just kind of touched on the past, which is okay. It's better than nothing, but I want more from it. Now, this is one good time I will mention, and that is the Benji vote out. Now, regardless if I agree it was a good decision, it still was a decision that she made, and she did end up getting her way. So I will say this is the one time where it was kind of a lackluster move, but I won't discredit it as a move because it was one. Now, she tries to stop Marissa from winning the comebacks, but she fails, so it kind of just makes her seem less threatening to the other contestants, even when she's purposely trying to make things harder for them. So, in the most recent episode, she tries to convince Jade to get out Anastasia, but Amelie easily convinces her to not vote out Anastasia and vote out Spencer. So it's not even a move on her part, and she was easily convinced of doing otherwise instead of actually trying to convince people of doing what she does. So that's about it for now. Overall, I don't think Isabel is a horrible character and is much better than characters like Rhea, who had bad development and bad character and bad strategy, but I really don't know what they want from Isabel in a whole, and I kind of feel like she's meant to be something so much more and so much more impactful, but we're much farther into the season and I haven't seen any of that, so that is the main problem with Isabel and how she is one of the most lackluster characters this season. So that is all I have to say for now, and let me know what you think in the comments. Bye, guys.